guys, Vicki Ross here. Actually, I am playing. Don't faint and fall out, but I'm playing. Don't really have a plan. Well, yeah, I do. That's a lie. You're a liar. I have a sheet of 7 Gypsies cardstock. My lighting is awful. Let me see if this helps. Yeah, it does. Anyway, I have a sheet of 7 Gypsies. Sorry, I don't know the name of it, but I will post it later. I've got it taped down to a backing board of an old Winsor Newton watercolor block. And I have put clear gesso on it because the pattern is so pretty, I don't want to lose it. So here we go. You can tell if it's dry, this goes for watercolor or any kind of paper, if it's cool when you touch it. Of course, obviously, if you've just turned the heat gun on it, it's not going to be cool. But once the heat dissipates, you can feel it, and if it's still cool, it's still a little bit damp. So you want to be careful, but it's pretty much dry in here in the middle where I'm going to work. This is going to be a woman's face. And I'm going to, do y'all know the rule of thirds? I'm going to tell you anyway. If you take a tic-tac-toe board on a piece of paper and roughly plot it out, the intersections are your hot spots. Now, this isn't written in stone by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a pretty good guide. So if you decide where you want your center of interest to be, you can plan to have that on one or two of those, any of those 4 spots. So this could be my focal point, or that, or that, or that. I'm going to I'm going to start right in here. Now I don't know if I'm going to hit that mark or not. But what I can do when I plan this, if this is a girl's face and this is her eye line, what do we know about the eye line? We know that the eye is halfway between the chin and the top of the head. Okay? So that means the top of her head will go off, which is great because that's usually what you want anyway. You don't want your pieces crowded. Now, do I need more neck than that? Probably not. So, if I want her nose to be about right here on that intersection, that would be about right there. Now, that pushes her eye over toward the center. So I can either downplay that eye or I can highlight the nose. And that's what I'm going to choose to do. Okay? And I know I've got better erasers than that. I know I do, because that one is leaving a mark. Let me see if this works. This is a kneadable eraser. I need you, eraser. Now, what else have I taught you about the face? The face is 5 eye widths wide. The width of the face is about equal to half of, so if we say her chin is right here, so the width of her face would be about right here, centered on that nose, so that would be over here, roughly. Okay? Follow me? And that puts this over here, which we're not concerned about. Now we've got this space, and we're going to separate it into 5 pieces. That will give us a 5 eye width. So you've got one, and this is only true on a front forward, a facing square to the camera point of view. So if we go 1, let's measure that, 2, 3, we're all darn close, 4, 5, real darn close. So we're going to use this measurement. Do you have to do this? No. On a realistic face, though, it sure does help. So I'm going to lighten that just a hair, lighten that just a hair, and I've got my chin mark down here. I don't care about the forehead. So here is my face. And the other thing that I want to tell you is that this is a larger than life-size face. Now in fine art, one of the rules is don't ever go larger than life-size. Now if I follow that, that means my whole head should be no more than that. And so we could put her right there, and I can alter what I'm thinking. Do I want to? Or do I want her larger than life size? If I want her here, okay, I've decided that was way too big, and I wasn't going to be happy with it. As you can tell in my brain, I've had so many different different kinds of training, and I've read and studied, but I've got that a little bit too wide. I'm going to go with this, which that makes that the hairline, which makes this a third of the way down. Now, a third of the way down is halfway to the top of the head. Does that make sense? If you're measuring from the hairline, remember you've got skull on top of that. And if we're going to roughly go, I know I am boring you guys to tears. Let's go over this one more time. Align to the chin. Well, align to the chin. Halfway. Side of the face. And another to the top of the head. Here's the hairline. And our eyes are right here. One eye between, one eye on either side. So 5 eyes wide. Half, and this is for an illustration, you can have it be anything you want. The nose is right here and roughly ends with that eye. If you draw a straight line down, you're going to hit the nose. About like that. You got your little indent right there. Mouth. Pokey downy thing. And there's the bottom of your mouth. The bottom lip kind of blends into the chin, so you can kind of, I'm going to make my eyes just a little bit wider than what they are. This one's going to be covered, so I'm not going to put anything over that. I'm going to let this eye be here. I'm going to bring it down, back up. So I want this to be a closed eye. The eye socket pretty much a round ball. So we're going to draw a half round, about like that. The bone in your eye socket, this bone is round. And it's a bone that protects the eye, so we're just going to bring that circular shape on down. Kind of like so. The eyebrow fits above it, and it's pretty much lined up about like that. Now, depending on where your light's coming, and we're going to have the light coming from here, which is my favorite thing to do, and then we'll have a shadow over here coming down to that nose. About like so. And the other eye, of course, would be here. And then we've got another eyebrow about right there. The neck comes straight down from that eye. It's about right there. I've switched to a colored pencil, by the way. This one happens to be Kids brand. Double check my measurement. That's half, and that's half. And that chin could come up still just a little bit more, but it could still be pointy. Sketchy. Sketchy, sketchy. Can y'all see? I'm drawing in blue on a gray paper. I've got my Ceramcoat Flesh Tone. This is Delta Ceramcoat. It's got a dauber top on it. And this is the dauber top that it kind of dried up on me. And this Liquitex gesso is real coarse. So I think what I'm going to do is get a brush. I want this to be a real thin coat. I want it especially thin around the edges. Don't want any real hard lines. Spray it with a little water. Now if you're using Prismacolor pencils, they don't run, but we all know that mine are lost somewhere in this gargantuan 1,400 square foot house we live in. That's a joke. Now if I'm painting for real, if I'm really painting for realism, I'll mix my own colors. I have used a dry baby wipe to kind of smooth out those colors, smooth out that color just a little. I do want to see paper through it. What's the point of having that real pretty pattern if you don't let it show through? I restated my lines, my sketch lines. The pencil I was using acted like it dissolved. So I'm just going to sneak up on it now, put some highlights in. This is white gesso. I'm hitting the places where the light would hit. I want a real light, loose line. There's going to be just a little bit on that side of the nose. And there's going to be a little bit up here. And there's going to be some down here on her chin. A little bit in her lip. A little bit up under the brow line. And some right up in here. Smearing it real good. I don't want anything yelling at me right here. Put some more of my flesh tone. Just for grins, I'm using, let's see, Apple Barrel, what's the color? Key West. Just a little bit, see what happens. Nobody says we have to go by convention, do we? Remember, the nose is made up of 3 balls, bigger one in the middle, little one, and the way you put the lights on them is what makes them look like they're dimensional. So that one's going to catch the light right there, that one right there, and that one right there. And that aqua, in this case, is serving as my greenish shadow tone. I'm just grabbing what's available on my desk, just so you know. This is fuchsia, again, apple barrel. Then I want that real loose, real pale. I guess my main goal here, if I have one, is that I want the paper to show through. This is such a beautiful paper. I want a little bit more of that turquoise. I really like that. And again, this is a shadow shape. The cheek is also a ball. So this is a shadow coming down and around that nose. Pulled out my small Masterson palette. This is all dried. Do I like working on old paint? Not necessarily. But when you squeeze out paint, don't mix it together until you kill it. I would just want a little bit of pink and a little bit of the yellow ochre. I'm going to make a warmer pink. And that's just about perfect to match those roses. So I'm going to put a little bit in there, a little bit in there. I'm using this mixture as a little bit of a local color. It's a little dark, but white. I know I've got some white. How about this medium white? You don't always want white. Now this is an artist quality. This is by Deco Art. I like to mix on the paper too. If you'll see, I just did that. I like using white gesso too, or as well, for my whites, because it's sheer. I'm just letting her speak to me. Peel back a little bit more of that pinkish color. Yeah, she's coming to us now. Very soft. Take your time and enjoy the process. Had a little hickey right there I didn't like. Oh yeah, hey baby, come on. I like that medium white, that's a pretty color, especially when mixed with this other. Now guess what? The chin is another ball. Right here. So we need a little bit of the turquoise. This is the muzzle. This is the jawbone where the mouth area is another ball. So where is the cool going to be? It's going to be on the outside of that ball as it starts turning toward the shadow. Same thing on the edge of the face as it turns away from the light. You also have the lip. Okay, the other thing about the lower lip is that in these corners, as it's turning into that ball and it's losing some of its poochiness, this comes out and around. That's why you'll get a darker shadow on this bottom part of the lip because it pooches out. And you'll get local color right there. But right here, the poochiness goes away, so there's not so much of a shadow there. Does that make sense? It disappears somewhat. heard me say this before, it's a push and a pull. We're not doing anything drastic. Now we need a little bit more shadow because this lip is dark. And I'm going to have to call in another color. High Flows to the rescue. Quinacridone Gold. I said High Flow. These are Deco Art Media. Burnt orange maybe. That's what I love about Artist Quality paints too, is that they are so rich that a little bit goes a long way. Put out 1 drop of raw umber. If you'll notice, I made a broken line on that raw umber there where her lips meet. Now on this side of the nose, remember that the ball is facing away from the light, so it's going to get a little bit right there. And this one is going to get a little bit on the same side, as is this ball. And they're going to have a little bit of white hitting the beginning of that cheek. A little bit of local color in the middle of the beach ball. And just keep pushing and pulling until you get what you want. Now there's a cast shadow under the nose coming from here. So you want to get that over here, about like so. There's not so much of one here, so you want to be real careful. One of the things I love about acrylic is it dries fast. One of the things I don't like about acrylic, it dries fast. Smudging that out because I don't want that mouth to be so plain. Wow, she's coming to life. Coming to life. Hi, baby doll. Now, if you've built up your little highlights the way I've just shown you, when you get close to where you think you're finished, it just takes a little bit of your lightest light to pop that out and complete your 2D object into 3D. I'm just knocking back a little bit of that pink. I'm going to knock back just a little bit more. Feather the edges. We want a nice transition. Now this part of the chin will come back out. Well, at some point we're going to have to start working on the upper part of our face. Hi, darling. This part between the eyes has a technical name, but I can't tell you what it is because I don't know. But it's where the brow bone curves. Now if it's going to curve, it's going to get our cool tone, which for the sake of this demo, I'm using the turquoise. And then I want some of the local color. Up here. I am absolutely wearing this brush out. That's okay, I got them at Target, and for what they are, they're really nice. I like them. They're a nice soft brush. I am trying to use the belly of the brush more than just the tips. The belly of the brush is down here. Restate that shadow color. It doesn't have to be in your face. It's just a neutral, coolish tone. Blend it in with that local color. This is back to that natural white. Bring your skin tone up into the hairline. Because even though that's where the hairline is, there will be some skin tone shown through the hair. So you want to give it a little bit to work with there. I don't really want to cover up the flowers. And that does tend to go cool over here. And as I said earlier, we're not going to have much there. I'm not really covering up the turquoise. I'm kind of scumbling on top of it, and it shines through the scumbled area. So here I use some of the flesh tone, or my flesh tone, which is the yellow oxide and that craft pink, and mixed a little bit more toward the yellow oxide line and just scumbled over that, and there's enough of the turquoise showing through to give me the illusion of the ball turning. Just a little bit of this translucent white. That's also a deco art color. Very lightly. We don't want it to be harsh, but it will come on down. I want a little bit of the burnt umber right here in the crease of the eye. I want some right here. Now as this comes out of that fold, it will shade upward. Here comes a lecture on one of my balls again. Ball, right here. So I've got my light hitting here, and my cooler color here, and I can bring that under just a little. And then as this comes out, the cheekbone comes out, It picks up a little bit of the white or the light from the light source. And it has a little bit right there. And that might be just a little bit too much, so okie doke. Coming back in with some flesh tone. Back with a little more raw umber. I'm going to feather it here because that's a ball. I've got the barest amount of paint on this brush. And I do like I do in oil. I've got a fairly dry cloth in my hand and I'm constantly pulling off the excess paint. Put it on, you cover it up. Put it on, you take it off. That's the push-pull. A little bit of the translucent white. And a little bit of push-pull coming on here. Here we go. Well, excuse me. I just burped in your face. Light as an angel's touch. Now remember, that's hair right here. So I'm going to have some of that shadowy color coming right down because that hair will make a shadow. And y'all just about let me forget that I've got an earlobe over here. And guess what? It's another ball. With local color in the middle. A little bit more of the umber. Now this time the dark shadow will be on the inside of the ear. This edge right here. Because that is going away from the light. And then we'll have, this is the cheekbone or the jawbone, and it's coming out from the crease of the ear. So it's going to catch the light. Tone that down just a hair. See? Then a little dab of the translucent white. A little dab right here. Very, very light touch. Alrighty. Now, Eyelashes in my world are not little clumps of hairs. It's just a shadow shape, and they are not even. I'll kill some of the chroma. Do you know what that means? Chroma is the color. In this case, it's that hottish pink. I want to kill that just a little, so I put some more of the raw umber and killed that just a little. And I'm going to add a little bit more right here, because that's where that eyelid goes deep into the shadow. Very, very lightly. Oh, hi, honey. You're looking good. A little bit more of the translucent white just under that brow bone. A little bit more right here. Want just a touch under those eyelashes. I should have done that beforehand. Hi, darling. You're looking fine. That's some more of that natural white. I'm gonna need a little another drop. All right, where are you? Medium white. Now blend that in real good on that spot right there, because that's where the light's hitting. Come back, lightly blend. Sometimes it seems like you're taking off as much as you're putting on, but you're leaving a little. Watch how this just kind of blends right out. Now if you want to, come back very lightly, no pressure, and just hit around the edges of that until it blends perfectly in with what's already there. Now see how nice that is? Now we come back, a little bit of translucent white, and we hit a smaller spot, okay? And we do the same with that. We just blend it out. And that's how you get a realistic, smaller still with the translucent white. This is whiter than that. So I just keep going. Might let that dry just a little bit. Don't want any hard edges. Raw umber. blend that out just a hair. Local color. Remember when I killed that pink just a minute ago? And I'm putting back just a little. I dried my brush off. And the boys are here wanting to go outside. Okay, I'm back. I did a little bit without the camera on. Sorry about that. But basically all I did was come down from that eye and added some of my skin tone. And then wiped a lot of it back so that I could see some of the print underneath it. And I left it real rough down here. Her neck will be about right there. About right there. So, let's see, where am I? I'm going to leave this. I'm going to put the lid on my paint. I don't expect it to last, but it might. Next thing I'm going to do is gold leaf. I'll be back. cool. I swear that turquoise color wasn't there, but it sure does look like it now. So, we're just going to add to it just a little. I'm just going to dance it around a little. It's such a beautiful color. For now, I'm going to leave the other side. And the reason, other than I don't have one, is that perhaps your eye enters with it gray and faded, and then bam, you see this beautiful face and this hair, and then this side is finished just a little bit better. Or not better, but it's just finished out a little bit more. I'm still feeling a little bit of sticky. This has got a little bit of gold, a little bit of bronze in it. Do I care? Nope. And it doesn't really matter, I just don't want to run the risk of anything sticking to it. This is some of the pink I used in her face. I'm just restating the pink that is in the print. There's nothing at all wrong with what was already there. Let's just say I'm enhancing what was already there. Just on this side for now. I can always go back. If you do something you don't like, just wipe it off. It's the beauty of gesso. I'm going to get a little bit yellow. This is Hansa yellow. This is a greenish yellow. And it doesn't take very much yellow. I just mixed a little dab of that in with that warm white and a little bit of that yellow ochre. And I'm just going to hit few of these yellow spots. Got to get a little more translucent white. Should have left my bucket out. Very carefully adding just a little bit of white where some highlights might hit. This will give them just a little more life. And if you didn't know better and I wasn't telling you, you probably wouldn't even recognize that I had done anything. But I did. Just a little. I am really enjoying this one. Can you tell? Don't be afraid to use your fingers. And don't use gloves. Did you know that the bacteria that accumulates in gloves from your perspiration is 10 times worse than the risk of the acrylic paint? Look it up. I won't even take a class from someone that wears gloves. How's that for being snobby? I tell my students they're sissies if they wear gloves. Unless you've got a medical condition, then I'll break the rules. Dance it around. Those little flower centers don't have anything in them, but they're going to. Bring it to life. Now this is the point where I usually, or not usually, but sometimes, not panic, but oh my God, I'm so happy with it now. Am I going to ruin it? Ruin it, ruin it. But we're going to bust ahead. We got paint. Now, these curls, when they curve into the light, they're darker color. That's pinky. Pinky. And when they come out of a light, they're coming lighter. Oops. Now this is similar to what I told you on the, let me stop for a minute. Okay, another drop of burnt umber. So we're coming away from the light right there, right there. You know, I think since I've got so much of that base color, that yellow ochre out, I'm just going to do an all over color. Even that has some tonal value. I need some more. That's the warm white. Didn't mean to get that much. Sometimes it's fun to put two colors on your brush at the same time. Like that. You get a real interesting effect. A little bit of water. This one I had decided was going to be laced, and couldn't get the Dritz eyelets setter to work with the craft eyelets. So thinking, and typically it is mechanical failure on the part of the operator, but so I gave it to the mechanical wizard engineer, and he couldn't get it to work. So what it was doing was it would hang when you punched it, so it would stay in the down position, wouldn't finish punching it, and then you'd have to take pliers, pry it apart, and hope that you weren't going to tear the painting. So I was sweating bullets. He couldn't get it to work either. And then on top of that, this entire box got spilled in the floor. So I just spent the last hour resorting all of that. I have enough of these to finish this up. Found this at Canvas Corp the other day in their discontinued section. These are sticky back eyelets, and I sure would have used those and I'd have been done with it the other night. But I borrowed their crocodile, and I'm going to have one of these. So get ready for it. We are memory keepers. I have no clue how to use it. I mean, I know these things rotate. So I'm going to have to do some trial and error, and my engineer just left. I'm going to waste one. Okay. So I guess that's it. Y'all nervous with me? That worked. Okay, now I'm going to take my lacing undone. That was an easy stage. That didn't take long at all. And I'll walk you through that. I have an annoying habit with math and repeat patterns and things like that, that somehow by accident they just seem to work. Or maybe I just remember the ones that work more than I remember the ones that fail. That could be. I remember doing a Greek key border on a Maggie Lane needlepoint one time by looking at the picture, because she didn't include the chart that showed the mitered corner. So I just kind of counted out from the picture of the finished project, and it was right the first time. That was kind of uncanny. But anyway. This is waxed cord from Canvas Corp. It's a nice weight. Alrighty, here we go. Let's finish this one. Let's see, that would be... Let me figure this out. I can paint, but I can't lift heavy things. Ah, perfect. Perfect. See if I can clean these up. Oh man, I'm so happy. Oops, that doesn't have one yet. Oh man, would you look at that? I gotta have one of these tools. Okay, so the eyelet goes on the sticky uppy part, and that's the front. So line up, whoops, get back on there. Oh man, I didn't think I would ever need one of these tools, but I do now. I'm not putting these in any rhyme or reason. Just however they end up is however they end up. They're all brushed, have a brushed finish, so. And this does hurt my wing. And that hole is not big enough. Let's do this one. Whoops. Oopsie daisy. I wonder if you put it in before. Okay, so that goes down. Perfect. So it kind of helps me anyway if I'm put the bread in, put the eyelet in first. And I should probably go get my hole punch. I don't know if you're supposed to punch these, or if this will cut a hole. Oh, almost straight. Nobody will know. Except you and me, and you're not going to tell anybody, right? Now if you take a little more care with your measuring than I did, you'll end up with perfect results, but I'm not about perfect. On a galloping horse, nobody is going to notice if one of your eyelets is just a little bit out of line. And since Vicki is out of line all the time, who's the wiser, right? This tool, I can't imagine if the ergonomics of the Big Shot aren't any better. It's hard for me to get my little hand around this. My little hand, look, I'm such a princess. Cool. Alright, idea working. I'll be back. Voila! And my arm is barking. Oh, and I spent an hour cleaning up a while ago because my studio looked like a tornado had gone off in it, and I had lost my groove tool. Actually, it was right where I thought it was, but I just didn't look deep enough where I thought it was. So, in the process of cleaning, I found that. Now, some of the original ideas I had was to mount this with matte medium. But after doing the part that I did and lacing it ahead of time, I decided it held it on there firmly enough I didn't have to worry about it. Now what I might do is come back and just get the corners maybe the edges. So we'll decide that. The first thing I did after I got my holes on my artwork was to, and I've already done it, so I've got to make sure I've got this lined up. That's not it. I told y'all you get to see my brain work. It's a scary thing. That might be it. Is that it? I think that might be it. Yep, that's it. Now what I did was just a regular lead pencil again. I came through here and poked. I didn't poke. I made a mark so I could see where to punch. I took my Japanese screw punch. You could use anything. Oh, that's coming through from the other side. It scared me. Okay. Anything that will make a hole where you make the mark. And probably even a pokey tool would work. Yeah, I don't know where my pokey tool is. If you're careful, you could even use something like that, just to make your hole. This hole is strictly for the needle to go through, so it's a guide for the needle. And I gotta double check this again because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I did, let's see what I did. Get it up here where you can see what I did. Times the width, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and some left over. So I went 2 times around this piece because I didn't know, and I don't know yet, what's going to happen at the top to hang it. So it's better to cut more thread. It's not expensive, and it's better to have too much than not enough. Trust me, I've been there. And the next thing I did was had to look at this toad sticker. Is that a needle or what? I think this is for leather. But it worked the other day, so I'm not going to dig anymore to find another one. So get that cord through the eye. Now, this is where serendipity came in. I came up from the bottom on this first hole and through the eyelet. Now again, I did not plan this. I gave you guys a good demo. Leave yourself plenty of tail there. You can adjust it later. All I know is I've got an even number on each side. I've got 6 on each side, which gives me an even number of eyelets. Now, had I been thinking correctly, I would have planned it to make sure that my strings came up in the right place, or down, okay? But I didn't, so that's one of those things that the muse had my back. Okay, so now go down. And this is a canvas corp canvas. So I have lots of strings on the back. Something you need to be aware of, this particular stretcher bar is beveled. Every canvas that you buy may not be, so when you start this process, you need to be able to get your hand up underneath where your holes are going to be. So some stretcher bars may be 1/2 inch, some may be 1/4. This one's beveled, but you've got to be able to get that needle in and out underneath that stretcher bar, okay? Okay. And when you poke your holes, or trace your holes, mark them on the canvas. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put a T on the back of the canvas so you'd know which way was matching. That color I mixed is almost perfect for the background of this paper. In 2016, look for some more technically related posts and videos from me, because I don't care what you're trying to do. When you're dealing with color, you've got to know what's in that pigment. Otherwise, you're going to have 200 bottles of pigment, different tones and tints and shades, and when you get ready to use one, you're not going to know where they are. So if you can learn to do some minimal color mixing, you'll be happy, happy, happy. I'm tired of talking, so, well, no, I'll go ahead and leave it running. Yay! As my little great nephew's 18 months says, yay! Yay! Now the first thing I noticed when I did this, oops, there's another bride. Another one laying around here somewhere because I didn't put them up. Was that, oh look, I'm going to end up with my corners matching because, you know, I wouldn't have been surprised if I'd have had a down corner and an up corner. And then of course the next thing I noticed was that it went all the way through to the back. So we are through with the toad sticker, and I'm going to put it right there, and I will put it away immediately. I want these to try to be even, and so you kind of got to go half of it. And that's probably going to be too much. Oh, there's the other one. Let me put those in the bucket too. I don't know when I would ever need 2 eyelets, but you never know. And as a true gypsy, I always want to save things. You never know when it just may come in handy. And because of my eyelets, I don't have to worry about ripping my holes. And you could do this from the front as well. But I just wanted to make sure there weren't any. Let's see how close I got. I'll be darned. How about that? Look at this. That's something that usually requires jockeying back and forth. See, there's that muse again. Now I want to make sure everything is tight enough. Looks pretty darn good to me, and we are centered. Well, I mean, you know, close enough for who it's for. Now that last little tightening I did, and I swear I'm not cheating, I've got, whoops, 1/8 of an inch difference. If I planned on that to happen, it never would. Now I'm going to tie this off. I'm holding my finger over the knot. We'll see what I've got, and I've got absolutely nothing because I didn't do it right. Got it that time? Maybe. That's good enough. Just a square knot. Hold that. Now, this could probably just come up and tie in a knot, or we could decide to bring it over here and staple it and then tie it in a knot, and that would give us a little bit more of a look like this, which I kind of think might be nice. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So the trick to that's going to be getting it exactly centered. So, pencil, ruler, 6 inches. And I think 2 inches is enough. Yeah. This just, well, actually, if you go with 4 inches, 12, 4 times 3 is 12, so that's thirds. So that's why it looks right. Again, disgusting. Okay. Looks right. Alright, get out my little, oops, that won't work, will it? Will this Tim Holtz stapler come apart? No. I need my canvas stretcher stapler. Hold on. Alright, so that is in a box in the closet. So I'm not going deep sea diving for it right now, so we're just going to leave that the way it is. Unless that Tim Holtz thing comes apart. I don't think so. So I'm going to have something right there. You know, when you want something done, you just want it done. I found another hole puncher. Okay. Has nothing to do with anything. Ah. What I found. Sitting right there in a drawer, but this isn't my heavy one. But it will work. Now how am I going to see this? Right there. And there's nothing in it. Okie doke. I'm obsessive about keeping stuff that goes together, and I don't always succeed because I have staples. I just don't know where they are. Okay, so can't do that. Now, do we want to go down the corners? I signed it. I think I'm going to leave it for now. I think we're going to declare victory on this one. And the Randy will be back, and he'll either know where some staples are or he'll have one of his bigger guns. I'm going to go now, put the needle away, and this is the end of Silver Girl. I did a poor job painting the canvas, so I can go back in and hit or miss some silver. This is the High Impact Tattered Angels. Let's see what happens here. We wanted to try this anyway to see if, well, we know it would, but to see how it would look. I'm trying to get it where y'all can see it and where I can see it, and I'm failing miserably. I use silver leaf on the front. But if you didn't have any silver leaf, but you had silver paint, you could use that instead of the silver leaf. So that was a, as Carolyn Doobie likes to say, an oops, which is an opportunity for outstanding solution, I think is what it is. This won't be in your face at all. It will just kind of, is there silver on that? I thought I saw some silver. That kind of a deal. And the values of the purple that I mixed to match the paper and the silver are the same, so unless the light's just right, you're not going to notice it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sorry y'all can't see all this. We're going to get the camera moved up another 12 inches so I can have a more predictable result of what size canvases y'all can see me working on. I'm really enjoying these ungessoed canvas panels and burlap panels. And even though I put a coat of gesso on them to begin with, I like the texture really well. And oh, that's just nice. I mean, you can get fine art canvas if you want to, but this works great. And with everything I've used, the texture has been a very good complement to what the art was. And they are priced right and made right here in the USA. That was just a little booger, a little paint booger. And of course, if you take more time from the get-go and put 2 coats of your base color on there, you wouldn't have this problem. But welcome to Wiki World. Now that's just going to be a real subtle glimmer. Can you see it? Now if you hear a wordy dird come out of my mouth, there you go. See, I just went around it and spotted it on. Some around the front. See? If you put 2 coats of that on there, you would get a passable rendition of this with the silver leaf. This is not real silver leaf. It's made by Mona Lisa, which I think is distributed by Plaid. And it's a synthetic, so the gold is not real gold, and you know, it's in the craft supply department. Very easy to put on with their sticky glue. And but if you don't have it, want to use what you have, this is an excellent alternative. And I am declaring victory on Silver Girl. Ta-da! Whoops. Some more white. Okie doke. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I'll add this finishing to the video that I've already pretty much done. And I'll take pictures of this from CHA as it hangs in the booth. And it's going to look so nice. I'm tickled. I'm pleased with this one. That's my lispy voice. Okay, silly enough. Bye.